Voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Our conversation with Mark Hilliard, Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today. I wanted to talk to you about something that I know is, I'm assuming that you're getting rolling with this program now, the Excellence in Education second season.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So on a high school football Friday. We're gearing up for that. Right now we are in the process of scheduling visits to all the schools to meet with the students and the teachers, not just to talk about excellence in education, but also the Indiana County Ready program. That's our soft skills program that we have in the schools. But we had already met with all the Indiana County superintendents a couple of months ago and got their feedback on last year, things that worked, things that didn't work as well, ways that we can improve and make it a little easier of a process. Our goal from the Chamber's side was to try to make it as easy as possible for the schools. We didn't want to put too much on their plates, so if there were challenges or extra work, we wanted it to happen in-house with the Chamber and not at the school district level. So we got a lot of amazing feedback from them, met with the Indiana County guidance counselors as well, and we basically tweaked a number of things to make that process simpler. So this year going into it, it's going to be the same basic program where we're going to recognize a student of the month every month and a teacher of the year in each school district. And those students can be nominated by any teacher or administration in the district, and teachers can be nominated by anybody. They can be nominated by a student, a teacher, an administration, a parent. And what we are going to do is have the rubrics for both the teacher and the students so that people know what kind of criteria they're looking for in nominating them. Those are going to be on the school district's websites. We're also creating a separate page on the Chamber's website to be able to house a lot of that information too. So we're trying to be a little bit more transparent with a lot of the stuff this year so that people who do have questions or how can my kid work towards that next year if they're a junior or a sophomore, that they'll have that information available to them. We look at students based on academics, soft skills, school and community involvement, and growth and maturity, but there's a lot of different information underneath each of those four categories. It's not simply highest GPA. In fact, we recommend not just looking at GPA, look at academics more as the effort and how engaged the kids are in the classroom. So there are multiple components. So last year we had, some parents say, "Oh, my student was third in the class. Why weren't they recognized yet?" It's the third month of excellence in education, and you have to. There are multiple criteria. We're not just looking at GPA in terms of a student of the year because that doesn't really represent the most well-rounded student. So we're trying to make it more transparent, easier for everybody to access nomination forms if they want to nominate a teacher, and we're hoping that we get a whole lot of nominations this year. I'm looking forward to going in and talking with the students because now we have a year under our belt. So last year, we're talking to students, and I think a lot of them probably looked at us like, yeah, right, we're going to have a chance to win a car. This year we actually can go and say, look, here are the photos, this is what happened, and actually show them that you do have an opportunity. Yeah. So looking forward to it, but it's going to be, it's a large undertaking. I have a great staff in the office and certainly have tremendous cooperation with the school districts, but it's a lot of work. But it's something that's so worthwhile once you get to that event in May.
And good on Colonial for stepping up.
Well, I was hoping you'd get to that because I want to thank CJ Spadafora and Colonial Motormore, Colonial Toyota for everything that they do. We couldn't do that without him and his support. And we are looking for other community support. We had a lot of businesses reach out to us last year after the event and said we didn't know we could be involved with it. We thought it was just a school district thing. And they businesses had asked how they can help and how they can maybe provide other opportunities for the kids, whether scholarships or things like that for some of the other finalists. And we asked the school districts to help spread the word on that too. So if there are businesses within each school district that want to be involved in the program or want to support these kids, we absolutely would want them to do that. This isn't a fundraiser for the chamber. It's something that we're trying to do to help these kids. And any of the sponsorship money that we get helps to defer the costs of the tickets so we can lower that ticket price. So if you're interested as a business, you can contact the Chamber. If you have different ideas on ways that you want to get involved with these kids, and they're an amazing group of kids because they come in here and you talk to them, please contact us or keep an eye out in your local school district's communication, and they'll get some of the word out on how they can get involved.
Have other chambers contacted you and said, that's a great program, how can we do this?
Yes, I've met with a number of them. So I'll pat Indiana County on the back here. The hardest part about this is getting cooperation from everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't want to do this with just Indiana. We don't want to do this with just Homer Center or Marion Center or just a handful of them. It has to be everybody. And the hardest part, truly, Todd, is getting it to be uniform in all the school districts. So you have everyone to say, yeah, we want to be a part of it, but we're going to do it our way. And in Indiana County and with this group of individuals that we work with these school districts, I think that the cooperation is tremendous. And the fact that everybody is willing to work together and try to do it the same way so that it's consistent across the board, that speaks to the type of people and the type of schools that we have here. And I think that goes along with a lot of the things that happen in this county of the working together and the partnerships that we have. So other areas have contacted us, and I've talked to a number of my counterparts in other counties, but it's not quite the same because they get to a certain point where they find that they're not able to get all that cooperation, and that makes it more challenging to kind of imitate this somewhere else.
It's interesting that with most chambers of commerce, we're talking about business development. In this case, it's actually development of people for within the business community, and hoping that some of those kids who learn skills through this program will be able to apply them to the rest of their lives and further strengthen the pool here in Indiana County. But we focus upon a lot of what the Chamber does in terms of business and industry. We've had a lot of retail gains, I think, here in Indiana County and around Indiana and White Township in the last 12, 15 months, and that continues. Some restaurant news as well. That's always good news. And while we suffered some reversals in manufacturing and other producing jobs, I know that there's work ongoing for that too. It's a constant battle, isn't it? Even with businesses that are here to maintain their foothold in the market.
It is. I think that's the same way no matter where we are. And obviously we focus on workforce development. I feel like I talk about education a lot when I come to interview here or other places, but that's a focus on us for workforce development where we feel it's helping to create Indiana County's future workforce and create them in a way that they're not making the same mistakes that some of the existing workforce is, and filling some of those gaps that are existing right now. But right now, I think that there's a lot of good news being spread. When you talk to people, they always want more, and they always want to know when the next thing is. But I think if you look around and you see our chamber board meeting last week, and the press release is going to be coming out soon, so people will see. But in terms of White Township, talking about some of the things that are coming or potentially coming as they filed permits, with Permane Brothers and Texas Roadhouse and Applebee's and Panera and those are all, who would have thought 5 years ago we'd be talking about all those, Panera probably, but
we've been talking about them for
we've been talking about them for quite a while. But it's nearing the end of the line with that. But there's a lot of retail coming in at Dunham Sports. I mean, that's still an amazing asset here to the county, and there's more on the way. And in terms of economic development, though, and business development, we're not always looking at the retail end. That's what everybody wants to hear about because that's the fun stuff. You get to go shop and eat someplace new, but really we're looking for business development, businesses that can create more, put more into the economy in Indiana County, businesses that can create more jobs and hopefully bring more families here. That's always the focus for us and for the folks that we work with, and it's a positive outlook. We're happy with the retail that's coming in, and I think there's going to be more coming on the way, but we still have some work to do and bring some other companies in here that can create some jobs and create some families that living here.
Just a minute left with Mark Hilliard. Any meetings coming up, events?
We have a ribbon cutting next Friday at the Fox Clark Gallery here in Indiana. That's the new gallery, and I would encourage people to go and check that out. And then I believe we have our next business after hours on October 19th at Riziki Cafe out at the Jimmy Stewart Airport. So, we'd encourage you to check out both of those two events, and we'll hopefully be planning and making an announcement very soon about our annual meeting coming up in December.
There you go. Enjoy the trip to Highlands tonight.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to that. Such an easy drive.
Yeah, there you go. Indiana Highlands football tonight. Mark will actually be calling that game for us. We appreciate that.
Yes, should be a good game.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.